What's up, guys? Universal Mastery. So what I do on my channel is I break down the occult sciences to a very practical level so that you can use them in your day-to-day life and get real, actual results. So what I'm going to be doing in today's video is continuing on the archetypal series. So the archetype, the tarot card, the influence that I'm going to be talking about today is going to be the archetype of the star. So if you want to learn a little bit more about what the star has to offer, what are the attributations, what is the descriptions, what is the quality, what is the challenges that you'll experience through the star archetype, or what the star symbolism means in the tarot, then definitely stay tuned for the rest of this video. Okay, so the first thing I want to say is definitely make sure you go and you check out my Patreon. On my Patreon, I have exclusive content. Half of that content is going to be actual spiritual practices where you can actually perform them. I record myself doing certain types of spiritual practices, and I break them down step by step, and I show you exactly how to do them and exactly how to get results from them and what to expect from the practices. So half of the videos are going to be geared towards that. For example, how to do an invocation. I have a step-by-step breakdown video of me actually doing an invocation, showing you how to do it successfully. So half of the videos are going to be geared towards those actual practices, and then the other half is going to be geared towards something that I like to call educational entertainment. So that's going to be a video that's very similar to this one. You know, the video is entertaining, but you're also getting a lot of value out of the video as well. So definitely make sure you check that out. There's tons of videos that are on my Patreon that are not on my YouTube channel, and when you gain access to the Patreon, you have to at least be a tier 2 member. You're going to gain access to a whole vault of those exclusive videos that you wouldn't be able to gain access to otherwise. So once again, in order to gain access to the Patreon, as I said, you have to be a tier 2 member or up. In order to be a tier 2, it's literally $9.95, and that's a monthly, a reoccurring payment. But if you do the math, that literally comes out to less than $1 a day. So there's absolutely no reason why you shouldn't be able to afford that with the value that I have on my Patreon. Okay, and as you go up in tiers, the benefits go up as well. I'm going to let you check that out for yourself. Where you're going to be able to find the Patreon, okay, this is the golden nugget here. Where you're going to be able to find it is when you go to the description. You'll click that. You'll click the description on the YouTube channel, and you'll see the very first link at the top. It says My Patreon. Right next to the link, that is where you'll find the Patreon. So you click that and it'll take you right over there. You can sign up for the tiers. And then last thing, I want to give a special shout out to the top tier members of the Patreon already. Their names are going to be mentioned in the parentheses below. So, you know, definitely make sure you send them, you know, powerful energy. And I appreciate you guys very highly. Guys and gals, I appreciate you. And anyone that's on the Patreon, I appreciate you, and I'm glad to have you on the team. You know, I love what I do, and I do what I love, and it's fun to be able to have a community to be able to do, you know, to do that as well. And for anyone who's watching, I love you as well, and I want you to understand that. And I'm glad that I'm able to offer the value that I'm able to offer. So other than that, let's go right into this video. So here we go. Okay, so once again, this is going to be the archetype of the star. So if you are new to this archetypal series, please go to the very first archetype, which is going to be the archetype of the Joker. Just scroll down on my videos. It says start here in parentheses, and it says Tarot Path 0. Start at the Joker and work your way up from Tarot Path 0 all the way up to this one. So this is going to be Path 17. The reason why I say start there is because I give you a little bit of a foundational understanding of where I'm getting these archetypes from, where are these tarot cards, where are these influences coming from? Have you ever thought to yourself, where do the tarot come from? Like, who made up the tarot? Where is it coming from? Where is this knowledge of the tarot coming from? It's coming from something that is called the Tree of Life, which is a combination of the Sephiroth and the Qliphoth and a lot more. And it is literally a spiritual system. What the Tree of Life is it's a spiritual system that governs your own self-development and self-growth. And the more you study it, the more you understand your own being on all different levels, like emotional, physical, mental, psychological, spiritual. and how you need to evolve yourself to reach your highest potential. So that is literally where I'm getting these different pathways from. So this is path 17. So there are pathways on the tree of life. So that's what I'm going to share with you, just so you have a little bit of an understanding. So this is the path of righteousness, the path of the new age. The qualities that you will experience when you start to walk down this path and you do path working on path 17. So if you want to pull up a picture on Google Images of the tree of life and the paths, you can literally search that up. You will see where this path is. And I'm going to make a video after I'm done with this archetypal series showing exactly where you can find these paths, so that, you know, if you're really invested in this, you can go to that video and connect the dots for yourself. Okay, so the qualities that you'll experience on this path are awareness, new paradigm, future, hope, friends, corporations, freedom, liberty, and equality, aliens, technology, information, cosmic truth, humanitarian work. The description: this path joins eternity to foundation. So this on the tree of life is going to be the sphere Netzach connecting to Yesod. So this is going to be the pathway that connects those two spheres. Okay, here we go. So this path joins eternity to foundation on the road of the new age, the age of the reign of light. It merges the expansive giving nature of the right pillar with the reproductive force of foundation. It is the path of the givers, altruists, and the water bearer, who selflessly bestows the water of life to all. Hope, future, and helping others reign. People on this course often seem a bit strange, but they must not be dissuaded from their unique mission. Rebels, innovators, and geniuses who strive for a new way to find strength here. Strive for a new way to find their strength here. The affirmation of this path and of this archetype of the star is: I am an antenna for awareness and consciousness. I am here to do God's bidding and spread the word of love. Okay, the psalm is: thy righteousness is everlasting righteousness. The astrological aspect is going to be Aquarius. And the tarot card is obviously the star, and this depicts a woman who pours. Okay? Electromagnetic energy from a golden chalice into a silver cup. She represents an extraterrestrial guardian angel to all that work for the betterment of mankind. So in other words, if you are trying to offer value to this world that we live in, and you know, what are some ways that you can do that? You can help people and help yourself at the same time. If you find a situation where you can offer value, if you've done work on yourself and you've learned about yourself and you're trying to improve yourself, and you feel like what you've learned and what you've done for yourself can benefit others, and then you share that and you see someone and you see where they're at and you see that you can add that into their life, that is what offering value would be. That is what offering value and bringing balance to this earth is all about. And when you do that, you have a level of protection and guidance around you at all times, because you are aligning yourself with, you could say, the universe itself. You're aligning yourself just like a star is in the galaxy, and it sits there, and it's exactly where it needs to be in the big space of things. It's the same thing here. You know, you want to play your role. You want to do what you're here to do. And part of that is being able to express your truth and express your influence in a way that is going to help others awaken the same thing within themselves, where they want to express their truth and they want to express their influence, and it causes them to evolve. So if you can be that person that helps others evolve by speaking your own truth and being aligned with who you are, then you are going to have levels of guidance, protection that you can't even imagine, that are constantly and always going to be with you. Okay? The challenges that you're going to feel when you start to walk on this path are too weird, eccentric, overly cerebral, and scientific, illusions, and false hopes. The Hebrew letter is Tzadik, so Tzadik, okay? And what this means is hook, and it's associated with meditation. It is like a barb thrown into the waters of the subconscious to fish for realizations and enlightenment. This letter also suggests a saint or a righteous person. Okay? So let me share with you a little bit of my experience when I was working through this pathway myself. So the way that this really influenced me was I definitely, okay, so I was working at Equinox at the time, and I did feel like a strong urge of I was spiritually adept. So what I mean by that is, even though I was amongst, I was a personal trainer, and I was amongst, all the people that were gym goers and just, doing their thing, working out at the gym, I felt a sense of like differentness, uniqueness. This influence of the star archetype and this me working down this pathway gave me a strong sense of like spiritually trying to uncover things. So even though I'm in the gym and I'm around like a bunch of people that are just working out and working on their physical bodies, I was in a very spiritual state of being. So I was literally standing in the gym, and my mind was going into places that probably no one had any idea where it was going. And yeah, I mean, I just remember that I was always thinking about the spiritual aspects of everything that was going on. So when I would see people train and I would see people do certain things, I'm looking at it from a much deeper perspective than what someone would normally look at something through. I was looking at it through a different frame. And because I was in that state, I connected with other people that were also you could say resonating on that level too. So there was other people that I connected with that were very open-minded and very spiritual in that sense. So that was cool. I do remember there was a point where I had a mentor training session. So I had a scheduled time to meet up with one of my mentors in Equinox, and I was talking to him, and I was sharing with him some of the ideas that I had for what I wanted to accomplish and things like that. And I remember he told me like, that sounds a little bit out of this world. He's like, you sound like you're kind of talking a little bit out of this world. And I was on this pathway when he said that, and it makes a lot of sense, because once again, this is the pathway where you are literally, you're thinking on a much deeper level. You're thinking in an astral level, a much wider perspective. So to the average person, they may think like you're a little bit weird, or they may think you're like, you're just out of this, you're out of the loop. They may think that you're thinking about, they just may not understand. And that's the fact of the matter. They're not, they probably won't understand. And he didn't really understand where I was at. But it gave me that reflection of, okay, Jer, what you said may sound a little bit out of this world to most people. So, just be a little more aware of what you say and how you say it. Because he said, that sounds a little bit out of this world. It sounds like you need to kind of come here a little bit more. And that really stuck to me, because I was like, oh, interesting. Maybe that's how I sounded. So that was during this influence of this pathway when that happened. And yeah, I mean, that's literally what it was. I mean, I was in a much wider awareness. Once again, it was what it was. I'm sure there was people that were like, I don't, there was a lot of, I remember working at Equinox during this path working. There was a lot of people that looked at me and wanted to get to know me. They wanted to connect with me. They wanted to talk to me, but a lot of them didn't, because they probably were afraid to, and they probably just were like, I don't know if I'll understand him, meaning like, I don't know if we're gonna connect. I don't know, like, I want to know this. I want to get to know him because he seems interesting. That's the vibe, the influence that I got a lot from a lot of people that work there. Was a lot of people wanted to get to know me just because I was interesting, and especially during this path working, being influenced by the archetype of the star. There was that sense of uniqueness that I carried around me, and it radiated. People wanted to know what that was. They wanted to know what that thing was in me that was different. But once again, there was a lot of people that didn't initiate that conversation or that connection, because they didn't know, and they were probably afraid to try and connect with me and not understand what kind of person I am, because I was during this time, I had no problem sharing with you what I truly believed and what I truly felt. So I did connect with people on a very spiritual level, once again, as within, as without. So when I was working through this archetype, I was also connecting with other people that were very spiritually aware and had done a lot of path working themselves. And you know, we had very deep conversations that the average person would have no idea what we're talking about. So that was cool. But there was a lot of other people that hadn't done that spiritual work. There was a lot of other, like you could say, average people that wanted to get to know me and know what it was that, you know, I was about. But once again, they didn't initiate that, and I could sense it intuitively, and I could just see it just reading the situation, that they wouldn't initiate that conversation because that the fear of the unknown. Like, I don't want to have to like talk to this person and then not know what they're talking about, because they're afraid of, you know, they're afraid of something that they don't understand. And it's unfortunate, but I could sense a lot of that. And that was the level of uniqueness that I felt during this path working. And it was very astral. I want you to understand that this path working, this archetype, was a very astral type of experience, because there's, as you can tell, with the astrological aspect being Aquarius, and then the Hebrew letter meaning hook, there's a lot of reference to fishing. There's a lot of reference to water, to ocean, to flow. And that water is very astral-like. It is very fluid. Yeah, I mean, that was I had a lot of crazy astral experiences on that path. And one of them actually was, I had a very lucid dream. So I remember I did a ritual one night, and that same night I went to sleep, and I had the first extremely lucid dream I've ever had in my entire life. And it was insane. I mean, I did the ritual. I wasn't really sure what to expect. I knew what the general idea of the ritual was, but when I went to sleep that night, it was unbelievable. I mean, I literally came to a consciousness in my dream and was able to do what I wanted to do. And then I ended up waking up after my dream was done, and I remembered it clearly. I still remember it to this day, and it was a really cool experience. But that was also during this this pathway as well. So, but other than that, I think I shared enough. I think that this is going to offer the value that someone or many of you needed to hear. So definitely, if you enjoyed the video, please hit the thumbs up button, hit that like button. It's going to be right down there. Then come over here and hit that subscribe button, and hit that notification bell right next to that subscribe button. Because I post videos as often as I can. And remember, the Patreon is going to be the first link in the description. Click that, check that out for yourself. Then you go to the second link below. It's going to take you to my Streamlabs merch page, which is not going to be there much longer. What you can do there is you can go to the Streamlabs merch page, and you'll see a Hecate sigil shirt that you can literally place an order for. You place your order, and they will literally ship it right to your door, just like Amazon Prime does. Okay, so then go to the third link below. It's going to take you to the Facebook community. When you get to the Facebook community, you know, that's a group as well. But then you're going to also see a pinned post there that says private group. Click that, request to join the private group. What I do on there is I post extra content in the form of written and in the form of pictorial quotes. So definitely make sure you check that out. I'd love to have you a part of that. I want to get at least 50 people before I start posting consistently. Right now, I think I'm at 30. So definitely request to join that, and I'll add you in. And other than that, I'm going to wrap it up here. So ladies and gentlemen, I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day or night wherever you are, and I will see you on the next video. Peace.